Art Duerksen is an international missionary who at the age of 55 decided that he was going to complete an Ironman triathlon. His training was brought to an abrupt halt in December 2010 when he was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening symptoms.
When they first did the CAT scan and then did an MRI, they said, you either have tumors, okay, which in your brain, and one major tumor. We don't know if they're cancerous or not, or you've had mini strokes and one major stroke. I was, okay. In my mind, I'm thinking, because you're numb and you're in pain and all that, I'm thinking, okay, this isn't good. Either one isn't good. Didn't know what strokes really meant so much, but certainly knew what tumors would mean. So, to be very honest with you, I'd be opting not to have tumors. And by the grace of God, that's what it was. I didn't have tumors. It was diagnosed as, obviously, as a stroke. So my left side, my left arm, my left leg, my speech for a while was slurred. I still have a little bit of that, but not much really at all. And I couldn't walk straight. I would walk basically like a crab on the beach. You know, when you see a crab kind of walking, he wants to go straight, but he's walking sideways. So it was kind of interesting to try and walk in a straight line and kind of do a roundabout to actually get there. It changed everything. But you still have faith. You still trust God.
It was that contagious trust in God that he gladly spread throughout the hospital.
I had an amazing time in the hospital. I honestly did. I had 3 weeks of really heaven almost on earth in the hospital. The people I met between the staff at the general hospital, but also my friends and people coming in and being able to share Jesus Christ in the hospital. God had brought people to my bedside and then me to their bedsides to encourage each other in Christ. It was really a holy 3 weeks. And that was during the process when things really weren't that good.
So you're in the hospital, physically you're not doing well. Why did you think you could still complete a triathlon? Because
I didn't lose hope that I could get better physically again. And I think that, I've got to say, it's probably God. It's probably God who inspired it.
Despite his circumstances, Art remained determined and found encouragement from his doctor's advice.
He sat on my bed, Mindy, and I asked him, I says, can I travel? He says, you're not real good to be traveling. I don't know why you're thinking about that. I told him I was a missionary. I said, well, I've signed up for an Ironman. And is it possible for me to be able to do that in August? Remember, this is in December. And you know what? He was so encouraging. He didn't say no. He says, we'll look at that. Right now, we just want to get you better. And I said, thank you.
So if you pull out all the way forwards.
He took this encouragement and started retraining for the Ironman, which was only 7 months away, one step at a time.
Perfect.
And I think of it now, the guys were looking at me and, you know, my buddies know why, we're glad you're back. But here I am just walking slow, real slow. And they're concerned, you know, you shouldn't do too much and whatever. So I walked and then did a little bit more, then a little bit more. And then over the weeks, I started to run a little bit. I started feeling better when I was working out than when I was laying in bed trying to recuperate.
As Art became increasingly stronger, the excitement started to kick in, and he realized,
I'm getting better. Like the real reality is I'm actually getting better. And then the more I started to work out, the better that I felt. And then I'm encouraged by my friends. I'm encouraged by all my friends. My original goal, Mindy, was to lose some weight and get myself back in shape. I'd seen Gord Pauls do a triple Ironman for Canada and for Haiti. I was there. I was part of his team. It was phenomenal. So when I saw him do that, and I was encouraged by Esther, Art, you could do it. You could do it. She's an encouragement. You could do it. So I signed up.
As his small steps became strides,
I thought, I might actually be able to do this. And as I did some small triathlons and then did a half an Ironman in Welland, I thought, that's possible. If I could do a half an Ironman, it's just twice as hard. So there must have been some discouraging times, but you know, really with the training, with all my friends in the training, it was more encouraging than discouraging. Everyone is going through trials. And my heartbeat is for people going through trials, real tough trials. Look at internationally, all the things that are going on, and I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's tough, real tough. Then I look here locally, and it's tough for people. And I think, you know what? The joy of the Lord is our strength, and we've got to reach for Him for the joy. Because if you let it get you the other way, it'll weigh you down.
Art and his wife got on the plane and went to Penticton, British Columbia for 5 days, where he completed a triathlon alongside 3,000 other people, and with God right at his side.
I asked him in my heart, would you join me for the swim? Would you join me for the bike? Would you join me for the run? And he joined me. It was the happiest day, the hardest day of my life, but he joined me. What more could I ask than that? He joined me.
With the simple desire to improve his health and a heart for giving back to others and faith as his backbone, Art Duerksen accomplished the almost unthinkable.
His presence was there during the day. As I did these 3 different events in one day, he was there throughout the day. I realize it more so today how much his presence was there.
After suffering a stroke and relearning how to walk, Art completed a 4-kilometer swim, 180-kilometer bike ride, and 26-mile marathon.
I think, you know what, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be able to do this thing. And I did. And even during the marathon, I was happy. I can't prove it or describe it. I can't. It was hard, Mindy. It was really hard. But he was there. He was there. And I'm so grateful for it.
Art, how did you feel when you finished and crossed that finish line?
I wept. I wept. My wife was there. I remember looking at her. I was kind of weaving, and because you're spent. It's it's a hard day, so you're spent. And I remember looking at her, and I just wept.
You did it.
Did it.
In Hamilton, Ontario, Mindy Tweedle, 100 Huntley Street.